Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamuditye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 3, The Birth of Lord Krishna, text 25 onwards. So Mother Devaki is offering her prayers to Krishna. Nashte loke dviprara davasane mahabhuteshvadibhutam gateshu vyaktya vyaktam kala vegena yate bhavaneka shishyate ashesha sangyaha. After millions of years, at the time of cosmic annihilation, when everything manifested and unmanifested is annihilated by the force of time, the five gross elements enter into the subtle conception, and the manifested categories enter into the unmanifested substance. At that time, you alone remain, and you are known as Ananta Shesh Nag. So at the time of annihilation, the five gross elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, enter into the mind, intelligence, and false ego, ahankar, and the entire cosmic manifestation enters into the spiritual energy of the Supreme Personality of God, who alone remains as origin of everything. The Lord is therefore known as Sheshanag, as Adi Purush, and by many other names. Devaki therefore prayed, after many millions of years, when Lord Brahma comes to the end of his life, the annihilation of the cosmic manifestation takes place. At that time, the five gross elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, and ether, enter into the Mahatattva. The Mahatattva enters by the force of time into the non-manifested total material energy. The total material energy enters into the energetic pradhan, and the pradhan enters into you. Therefore, after the annihilation of the whole cosmic manifestation, you alone remain with the transcendental name, form, qualities, and paraphernalia. My Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, because you are the director of the unmanifested total energy and the ultimate reservoir of the material nature. My Lord, the whole cosmic manifestation is under the influence of time, beginning from the moment up to the duration of the year. All act under your direction. Therefore, you're the original director of everything and the reservoir of all potent energies. So this is, we have studied how creation takes place, Mahatattva Pradhan. I know it's very, very technical, hard to remember everything, but ultimately everything rests on the Lord, and everything is happening under his direction, under his control. Nothing is beyond his control. Yoyam kalastasya te avyakta bandho cheshtam ahushcheshtate yena vishvam nimeshadir vatsaranto mahiyansa tam tve shanam kshemadham prapatye. O inaugurator of the material energy, this wonderful creation works under the control of powerful time, which is divided into seconds, minutes, hours, and years. This element of time, which extends for many millions of years, is but another form of Lord Vishnu. For your pastimes, you act as a controller of time, but you are the reservoir of all good fortune. Let me offer my full surrender unto your Lordship. So everything is controlled by time, and time is your energy controlled by you. You act as a controller of time. As stated in Brahma Samhita, Yat Chakshuresha Savita Sakala Grihana. The sun is a king of all planetary systems and has unlimited potency in the form of heat and light. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under whose control even the sun, which is considered to be the eye of the Lord, rotates within the fixed orbit of eternal time. Although we see the cosmic manifestation as gigantic and wonderful, it's within the limits of Kal, the time factor. This time factor is also controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. Prakriti, the cosmic manifestation, is under the control of time. Indeed, everything is under the control of time, and time is controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Supreme Lord has no fear of the onslaughts of time. Time is estimated according to the movements of the sun, Savita. Every minute, every second, every day, every night, every month, and every year of time can be calculated according to the sun's movements. But the sun is not independent, for it is under time's control. Brahmari Sambrita, Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chakra. The sun moves within the Kal Chakra, the orbit of time. The sun is under the control of time, and time is controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Lord has no fear of time. We are afraid of time, because with time, everything changes in the material world. We grow old, we get disease, we die, everything in the material world, everything comes into existence, stays for a time, and then vanishes, dwindles and vanishes after some time. But not the Lord, and He controls the time. The Lord is addressed here as Avyakta Bandhu, or the inaugurator of the moments of the entire cosmic manifestation. Sometimes the cosmic manifestation is compared to a potter's wheel. When a potter's wheel is spinning, who has set it in motion? It's a potter, of course, although sometimes we can see only the motion of the wheel and cannot see the potter himself. Therefore, the Lord who is behind the motion of the cosmos is called Avyakta Bandhu. Everything is within the limits of time, but time moves under the direction of the Lord, who is therefore not within time's limit. So He is beyond this time and space limitations or existence, is beyond that. In the spiritual world, time is also there, but time has no influence, just like it has in the material world. There, the time is personally there to serve the Lord. That's it. To serve the Lord in His pastimes. When Krishna wants that it should be nighttime, it becomes nighttime. When it has to be daytime or for Krishna's pleasure, it becomes day. So time is under His control. Here also it's in His control, but here we think that everything is rotating like this, moving on like this, whatever we have seen, without anybody controlling it. But no, this is not what Mother Devaki is saying. Martya mrityu vyala bhita palayan lokan sarvan nirbhayam nadya gachat padabjam prapya yadrichyadya sustha shete mrityur samadhapaiti. No one in this material world has become free from the four principles of birth, death, old age, and disease, even by fleeing to various planets. But now that you have appeared, my Lord, death is fleeing in fear of you, and the living entities, having obtained shelter at your lotus feet, by your mercy are sleeping in full mental peace. And there are different categories of living entities, but everyone is afraid of death. The highest aim of the karmis is to be promoted to the higher heavenly planets, where the duration of life is very long. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Sahasradga Parvantam Ahar Yad Brahmano Vidu. One day, 12 hours of Brahma equals 100 yugas, and each yuga consists of 4,320,000 years. Similarly, Brahma has a night of 1,000 times, 4,320,000 years. In this way, we may calculate Brahma's month and year. But even Brahma, who lives for millions and millions of years, Dvi Prarartha Kala, also must die. According to Vedic Shastra, the inhabitants of the higher planetary systems live for 10,000 years, hence according to earthly calculations. And just as Brahma's day is calculated to equal lots of years, 4,300,000 times 1,000 of our years, one day in the higher planetary system equals 6 of our months. Karmis therefore try for promotion to the higher planetary systems, but this cannot free them from death. In this material world, everyone from Brahma to the insignificant ant must die. Therefore, this world is called Martya Loka. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Abrahmavana Loka, Punaravarti Navarjina. As long as one is within this material world, either on Brahma Loka or on any other Loka within this universe, one must undergo the Kal Chakra of one life after another. But if one returns to the Supreme Personality of God, Yad Gatvana Nivartante, one need not re-enter the limits of time. Therefore, devotees who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord can sleep very peacefully with this assurance from the Supreme Personality of God that once we go back to the spiritual world, we don't come back here. We don't have to again go through birth, old age, disease, death. There is no such thing in Golok or in Vaikuntha. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Tyaktva Deham Punarajanma Naiti. After giving up the present body, or a devotee who has understood Krishna as he is, need not return to this material world. The constitutional position of the living entity is eternity. Every living entity is eternal, but because of having fallen into this material world, one wanders within the universe, continually changing from one body to another. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Brahmanda Brahmite Konam Bhagyavanaji. Everyone is wandering up and down within the universe, but one who is sufficiently fortunate comes in contact with Krishna consciousness by the mercy of the spiritual master and takes to the path of devotional service. Then one is assured of eternal life with no fear of death. When Krishna appears, everyone is freed from the fear of death. Yet Devaki felt, we are still afraid of Kansa, although you have appeared as our son. She was more or less bewildered as to why this should be so, and she appealed to the Lord to free her and Vasudeva from this fear. So this is funny. I mean, she's saying anybody who comes in contact with you, he becomes fearless, but then she's afraid that Kansa will come and kill her. That's also motherly love. In this connection, it may be noted that the moon is one of the heavenly planets. From the Vedic literature, we understand that one who goes to the moon receives a life with a duration of 10,000 years in which to enjoy the fruits of pious activities. If our so-called scientists are going to the moon, why should they come back here? We must conclude without a doubt that they have never gone to go to the moon. One must have the qualification of pious activities. Then one may go there and live. If one has gone to the moon, why should he return to this planet where life is of a very short duration? So again, the moon exploration Prabhupada is talking about, which is nowadays everybody says it was a hoax. It never happened. So now coming back to Mother Devaki, she is afraid of Kamsa. This motherly love is different. No matter how strong, how powerful the sun is, she'll always think, oh, he'll get into trouble. Satvam ghora dugra senatma janasa trahi trastan bhratyavitra sahasi rupam chedam purusham dhyana dhishrayam ma pratyaksham mansadrisham krishishta. My Lord, because you dispel all the fear of your devotees, I request you to save us and give us protection from the terrible fear of Kansa. Your form as Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is appreciated by yogis in meditation. Please make this form invisible to those who see with material eyes. word dhyanadhishniyam is significant in this verse because the form of Lord Vishnu is meditated upon by yogis. Devaki requested the Lord who had appeared as Vishnu to conceal that form, for she wanted to see the Lord as an ordinary child, like a child appreciated by persons who have materialized. So Devaki wanted to see whether the Supreme Personality of Godhead had actually appeared or she was dreaming the Vishnu form. If Kansa were to come, she thought upon seeing the Vishnu form, he would immediately kill the child. But if he saw a human child, he might reconsider. Why? Why was she thinking like that? Because the voice from the sky said, the eighth son will kill you, O Kansa. And if Kansa comes and he sees the eighth son as Vishnu, as powerful Vishnu with 4 hands and all the weapons, then there'll definitely be fight. And Devaki, mother is mother. She would think, oh, Kansa is very powerful and he might kill Vishnu. But if he comes and he sees, oh, it's a small little baby, how is he going to kill me? He might reconsider. Now, there must be some mistake. Or he might think that I might have already killed the person who was supposed to kill me. Because Narad Muni confused him. He said, any person, any child could be the eighth child. So this is what Devaki is thinking. Devaki was afraid of Ugrasen Atmaja. That is, she was afraid not of Ugrasen and his men, but of the son of Ugrasen. Thus she requested the Lord to dissipate that fear, since he is always ready to give protection, abhayam, to his devotees. My Lord, she prayed, I request you to save me from the cruel hands of the son of Ugrasen, Kansa. I am praying to your Lordship to please rescue me from this fearful condition, because you are always ready to give protection to your survivors. The Lord has confirmed this statement in Bhagavad Gita by assuring Arjuna, you may declare to the world, my devotee shall never be vanquished. While thus praying to the Lord for rescue, Mother Devaki expressed a motherly affection. I understand that this transcendental form is generally perceived in meditation by the great sages, but I am still afraid because as soon as Kansa understands that you have appeared, he might harm you. So I request that for the time being, you become invisible to our material eyes. In other words, he requested the Lord to assume the form of an ordinary child. My only cause of fear from my brother Kansa is due to your appearance. My Lord Madhusudan, Kansa may know that you are already born. Therefore, I request you to conceal this 4-armed form of your Lordship, which holds the 4 symbols of Vishnu, namely the conch shell, the disc, the club, and the lotus flower. My dear Lord, at the end of annihilation of this cosmic manifestation, you put the whole universe within your abdomen. Still, by your unalloyed mercy, you have appeared in my womb. I'm surprised that you imitate the activities of ordinary human beings just to please your devotee. So this is, again, motherly affection is completely different, completely different. And Krishna followed that. Devaki was so afraid of Kansa that she could not believe that Kansa would be unable to kill Lord Vishnu, who was personally present. Out of motherly affection, therefore, she requested the Supreme Personality of Godhead to disappear. Although because of the Lord's disappearance, Kansa would harass her more and more, thinking that the child born of her was hidden somewhere. She did not want the transcendental child to be harassed and killed. Therefore, she requested Lord Vishnu to disappear. Later, when harassed, she would think of him within her mind. Actually, no parallel to motherly love. No parallel. She was ready that, okay, let Kansa harass me as much as he wants. She did not ask Lord Vishnu to go and kill Kansa right away. She did not ask him. She did not order him. He's standing there as a son, as her son. She did not tell him. She said, "You just disappear. I don't want Kansa to harm you. And if he gives us trouble, no problem. We'll handle it. But you just disappear." Janmate mayaso papo ma vidyan madhusudana samudvijay bhavadeto kansan aham adhiradhi. Oh Madhusudan, because of your appearance, I'm becoming more and more anxious in fear of Kansa. Therefore, please arrange for that sinful Kansa to be unable to understand that you have taken birth from my womb. Devaki addressed the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Madhusudan. She was aware that the Lord had killed many demons like Madhu, who were hundreds and thousands of times more powerful than Kansa. Yet, because of affection for the transcendental child, she believed that Kansa could kill her. Instead of thinking of the unlimited power of the Lord, she thought of the Lord with affection, and therefore she requested the transcendental child to disappear. So even Krishna is helpless in front of this love of Mother. Upsahar Vishwatman Adorupam Alokikam Shankha Chakra Gada Padma Shriya Jushtam Chaturbhujam. Oh my Lord, you see the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead and your transcendental four-armed form, holding conch shell, disc, club, and lotus, is unnatural for this world. Please withdraw this form and become just like a natural human child so that I may try to hide you somewhere. Devaki was thinking of hiding the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not handing him over to Kamsa, as she had done with all her previous children. Although Vasudeva had promised to hand over every child to Kamsa, this time he wanted to break his promise and hide the child somewhere. But because of the Lord's appearance in this surprising four-armed form, he would be impossible to hide. So they wanted him to transform himself into a two-handed child. And here Vasudeva is ready to break his promise. In fact, Acharya, as I said, when he made the promise, that Sanskrit shloka can go either way. So he did not actually break his promise. But anyway, to serve the Lord, again, we have to make sure the intention is to serve the Lord without any ulterior motive. One can, as Prabhupada also mentioned, one can adopt some diplomacy. Vishwam yadetas swatano vignishante yathavakasham purusha paro bhavan vibharti soyam mam garbhago abhuda aho nrilokasya vidammanam hitat. At the time of devastation, the entire cosmos, containing all created moving and non-moving entities, enter your transcendental body and is held there without difficulty. But now this transcendental form has taken birth from my womb. People will not be able to believe this, and I shall become an object of ridicule. So this also she was thinking. Now, what is this? People will think I have given birth to four-handed Lord Vishnu? No way they'll believe me. As explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, loving service to the personality of Godhead is of two different kinds. Aishwarya Purna, full of opulence, and Aishwarya Shithal, without opulence. Real love of Godhead begins with Aishwarya Shithal, simply on the basis of pure love. Pure devotees whose eyes are anointed with the ointment of prema, love, want to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Shyama Sundar, Murlidhar with the flute playing in his two hands. This is the form available to the inhabitants of Vrindavan, who are all in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Shyam Sundar, not as Lord Vishnu, Narayan, who is worshipped in Vaikuntha, where the devotees admire his opulence. Although Devaki is not on the Vrindavan platform, she is near the Vrindavan platform. On the Vrindavan platform, the mother of Krishna is Mother Yashoda. And on the Mathura and Dwarka platform, the mother of Krishna is Devaki. In Mathura and Dwarka, the love for the Lord is mixed with appreciation of his opulence. But in Vrindavan, the opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not exhibited. So in Vrindavan, nobody treats him as a Supreme Lord. There are 5 stages of loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead: Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Devaki is on the platform of Vatsalya. She wanted to deal with her eternal son, Krishna, in that stage of love. And therefore she wanted the Supreme Personality of Godhead to withdraw his opulent form of Vishnu. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur illuminates this fact very clearly in his explanation of this verse. Bhakti, Bhagwan, and Bhakta do not belong to the material world. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Mam Chayo Avyabhichare Bhakti Yogena Sevate. One who engages in the spiritual activities of unalloyed devotion service immediately transcends the modes of material nature and is elevated to the spiritual platform. From the very beginning of one's transactions in bhakti, one is situated on the transcendental platform. Vasudeva and Devaki, therefore, being situated in a completely pure devotional state, are beyond this material world and are not subject to material fear. In the transcendental world, however, because of pure devotion, there is a similar conception of fear, which is due to intense love. So this was not material fear, it was spiritual fear because of intense love. So in spiritual world, all these emotions are there, but they are in the pure state, not in the perverted state, that's the material world. Here, everybody is fearful for themselves. But there, if fear is there, that is for Krishna. As stated in Bhagavad Gita and as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhaktyaham Ekya Grahya. Without bhakti, one cannot understand the spiritual situation of the Lord. Bhakti may be considered in 3 stages called Guni Bhuta, Pradhani Bhuta, and Keval. According to these stages, there are 3 divisions which are called Jnana, Jnanamai, and Rati or Prema. That is simple knowledge, love mixed with knowledge, and pure love. By simple knowledge, one can perceive transcendental bliss without variety. This perception is called Manabhuti. When one comes to the stage of Jnanamai, one realizes the transcendental opulences of the personality of Godhead. But when one reaches pure love, one realizes the transcendental form of the Lord as Lord Krishna or Lord Ram. This is what is wanted, especially in the Madhurya Ras. One becomes attached to the personality of Godhead. Then loving transactions between the Lord and the devotee begin. So Prabhupada has given a hint of all this. These topics are way, way beyond our understanding or realization or conception. But Prabhupada has touched it a little. The special significance of Krishna's bearing a flute in his hands in Vrajabhumi Vrindavan is described as Madhur Virajate. The form of the Lord with the flute in his hands is most attractive, and the one who is most sublimely attracted is Srimati Radharani, Radhika. She enjoys supremely blissful association with Krishna. Sometimes people cannot understand why Radhika's name is not mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, however, the name Radhika can be understood from the word Aradhita in the verse beginning with the words Anya Aradhita Nonam in the 30th chapter, which indicate that Srimati Radharani enjoys the highest loving affairs with Krishna. So, again, we do sometimes once in a while discuss about Radharani, but it's beyond our understanding. Not wanting to be ridiculed for having given birth to Vishnu, Devaki wanted Krishna with 2 hands, and therefore she requested the Lord to change his form. Of course, again, not for herself, it was she wanted to protect Krishna. That's complete motherly affection. And Krishna followed that. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna?
I'm controller of time, and in Bhagavad Gita he also says that I am time.
Both are saying, okay. But time is one of his energies. And he's the controller of his energies. Again, him and his energies are non-different at the same time. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, chalo, we'll stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.